I recently did some of your training and found it to be so useful and beneficial. And it was the first time that I actually felt fully integrated and connected to my voice. I knew my voice had power, but to be able to really step into it and not feel as though it's separate to you. I often feel maybe it's me as a female leader that sometimes our voices are not heard, and therefore you over time you feel separate from your voice. But when we actually stand in our voice and realize how powerful it is, we realize that I've realized how simple and effective it can be in having impact and having leverage. And so I guess this whole idea of empowering the female voice is something that I'm very passionate about. I don't think a lot of women know how powerful their voices really are. And in many ways, some women are actually afraid of their own power. And you've now written or started to write a new book specifically on the women's voice. I'd absolutely love to hear more about that, because I think the time is now that we need to help more women find their voice and help them realize how powerful their voices are.
Well, the book is written. It's called The Woman's Voice. It comes out early next year. Let me just repeat this very critical thing. Every woman has a fantastic voice. Men. It's just that it gets lost. And I suppose one of the reasons it gets lost is that we are told to look as though we're powerful, rather than the outside became more important than the inside. Mm-hmm. And I suppose the book is about my struggle, because I started teaching before we had legal rights as women. So I've seen the whole, it's very good getting older, because you see a journey. And I have to say two very important things. One of them might be very uncomfortable. I don't feel that we have a chance in saving the planet until we have women leaders. Because I'm not anti-men. I just know that in every organization I work in, women are the ones that have got a lot to say, but often are not heard enough. And I think what happened in the 80s and the 90s, something happened which women were encouraged to think that power was the way they looked. Yes. I feel so sorry for my young students, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, to live with this idea of perfection, that you have to be perfect. So suddenly, to be powerful, you wore high heels. Look, I can teach somebody to use their voice in high heels, but it's much harder, because if you it's all about the body. If you're on high heels, your legs look great, but fundamentally the breath gets tight. The whole critical thing is about the breath powering the voice. The breath also powers the mind and the heart. If you don't breathe, you can't power anything about yourself. If you're in heels, the stomach gets tight, it moves up into the chest gets tight, the larynx gets locked, and it goes up. And suddenly you're speaking up here. And you can't, it's not that you want to speak up there. The anatomy of not knowing how to work in high heels, the voice comes up and never comes down. And for whatever reason, that is it's very hard to listen to.